Williams.
And I'm Billy Thomas.
And welcome to another edition of From the Woods Today. We are talking all things wood, and there's some really cool things going on this weekend that people need to know about.
You know, once every 2 years, there's this amazing event that happens here in Kentucky, and it's coming this weekend.
Exactly.
The Kentucky Wood Expo. Dun, dun, dun. No, we're really excited about it. This is a great program that we get to participate with. And we hope that after today, you all will be out there participating with us as well. But we're going to have Mr. James Wright, the executive director for the Kentucky Forest Industries Association. We've got him on site out there at the fairgrounds, getting this place set up. We're going to be talking to him a little bit about what's going on out there and what we're trying to do with this Wood Expo, and learn a little bit more about James as well and the Kentucky Forest Industries Association. So looking forward to having James on, and we're going to have Chad Niman with us. You know, we love having Chad on. He is does so much here in our unit, right? He runs the Robinson Wood Center down there. He's got forestry works. He's got mass timber. He's just everywhere doing everything. But he is fully engaged this weekend at the Kentucky Wood Expo as well. So you get a chance to hear from Chad. He's going to give you a little overview of what all we're doing out there, as well as a big cutting board project that he's got going on out there. So you could come out, meet Chad in person, and make your very own cutting board. So we hope you all join us out at the Kentucky Wood Expo this weekend, and let others know about it. But Renee, glad to be with you. If you all have questions for our presenters, please use the chat function. If you're on Zoom, on YouTube, or a podcast listener, thank you. But you can hit us up via email at forestry.extension@ukY.edu, and we can respond to you that way. But we're all gearing up for the Wood Expo, and we're going to be talking about it today. And Renee, I know you've been so busy on this thing too for months leading. And it's like it's finally here. So
I know.
Yes, so all right, everybody come out and join us this weekend. Yes, for sure.
Plus, y'all can meet Billy. You know, Billy and I will be out there. So.
I don't know if that's like a highlight, but yeah.
It is. I mean, Billy's got a tree ID thing. You know, you need
to
come out there. We'll get into that. We'll get into a little bit of that too. So, all right, let's go ahead and get James on because he's really busy right now. So
he's like, hurry up, people.
So why don't you just start it off and tell us, you know, about the expo and, you know, how it got started and what it's all about.
All right. Thank you very much. Again, sorry for to be on site, but we're really moving and shaking right now out here, trying to get everything ready for the weekend. Well, the expo has been, you know, we're in about our 38th to 40th iteration. It's been going on for quite a long time. The primary goal of the expo is to basically showcase, you know, our wood industry in the state of Kentucky. It's a $19 billion industry, as we all have been told. No, UK's done a lot of research on that. And we want folks to come out and kind of get to see what it's all about. You know, look at some products that you can actually make and use wood with, educational opportunities. But it's also a trade show within itself, because we do have loggers and sawmill operators and folks within the industry that will come out and look at the equipment that's being showcased. And they're buying and selling products like any trade show you would have. But for the most part, we've started adding on a lot of educational opportunities, because we think this is a great way to get our general public to come in and learn about the things that we do in the industry, forest management activities, how wood products are made, and the equipment that's utilized. I know UK has a large part of this. You know, we have Division of Forestry, Kentucky Division of Forestry, a big sponsor of what we do. So, you know, all in all, we just want to have the opportunity to showcase the industry, get folks to see some things that they haven't seen before. And it just so happens that this year you're going to get to see a lot of things you haven't seen before, because we're bringing back our Kentucky Lumberjack and Jill series. So we'll have men and women both, you know, competing in lumberjack competitions out here. It should be a very, very exciting time this weekend. It'll be Friday the 19th and Saturday the 20th.
Yeah, and that's at Masterson Station Park here in Lexington. So, and you can get tickets at the door, or you can get advance tickets. And I think Chad's going to have a QR code up here in a little bit that we can talk about that. Or you can actually just use your phone and get advance tickets if you'd like. But
I was going to say, James, I remember taking my boys to one of the first Wood Expos that I got to participate with. And man, when they saw that equipment out there, they just loved it. So it was great. So I'll encourage y'all, if you've got families out there, you know, and kids, they will absolutely love seeing some of this cool equipment that's out there. So that was, I just remembered.
Yeah, and it's a really great opportunity because we do have some hand-on activities that that Chad will be talking about. And again, Friday we do cater a lot towards the children in the schools because we'll have a lot of FFA competition and things like that. Really neat to see the kids come in and compete in some of these activities and learn about it. And again, that's good for the industry to have the youth be exposed to it. We always need more folks within our industry to be workers and things in the future. So yeah, we're excited about it. It's a very long tradition of the Wood Expo. We think it's a great opportunity to have it within the Lexington area because we can draw from all parts of the state, but at the same time expose a lot of folks and other demographics that may not be get out and see this type of how often can you get this close to Lexington and have a lumberjack series to go out and look at right here in town. So we're extremely excited. The weather looks great for this time of the year. We've got past the first hurdle. And again, we're looking at a lot of folks rolling in right now. There's a lot of equipment on site, and everybody's getting geared up and getting excited about it.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. There's a lot of different things for kids. We even have a critter tent where you see there there's a snake wrapped around that guy's neck. I mean, there will be snakes out there. Kids can pet snakes. I actually was looking through some pictures to actually make that post, and I saw my daughter. She had a little snake, and I mean, she must have been like, I don't know, 6 and she's 20 now, so it's kind of like, oh, and she had her little cutting board, so it was really neat to see those pictures, and I think actually that's Chad's son, isn't it, Chad? Yeah. So it's really neat to just see how our kids have grown up, going to the expo. I mean, Billy just said it, my kids have been there, Chad's kids have been there, so it's a really neat event that people can take the family and just get a lot of knowledge and see some snakes, pet some furs, and see some animal skulls, tree rubbings, you name it, it's out there.
Yeah, and a little bit more about the competition this year. We're going to have a Jack and a Jill competition, so you'll get to watch the men's and the women's divisions, and we'll also have a co-ed division where you'll have male-female teams competing in cross-cut saws and things of that nature. You're going to get to see, if anyone knows anything about lumberjack series, the hot saws. Those saws, they'll build them themselves. They've got mufflers. It looks like motorcycles. They sound loud. They cut fast. It's pretty awesome. You wouldn't get me near one for anything, but to watch these folks run these saws and these competitions is pretty amazing. And we're setting the arena up right now. Obviously, want to thank all of our sponsors. We got a ton of sponsors that are working with us this year. We brought on something different, like local sponsors, like Country Boy Brewing will be out here with a lot of local food trucks, Double H Barbecue, all these things. We're trying to bring in some local flair from the area to kind of draw in the folks within the Lexington area, because we do want to get folks in that are just not used to what we do, and this may not be exposed, in addition to all of our industry folks that will be coming in anyway. So we're excited. We hope you show up. We hope you spread the word. Very cheap, $7 for tickets, $5 for kids. So pretty much you're getting in for a little bit of nothing. Parking is free. Again, excited, very, very excited about this, and hope that everyone can make it and spread the word.
Yeah. So Chad, if you want to go to the beginning of your PowerPoint and kind of, we can kind of talk about all the stuff that's going on out at the expo, that would be great. Yeah.
Thank you, Renee.
Mm-hmm.
So as Renee and Billy and James were telling us, there's going to be a lot of activities out at the Kentucky Wood Expo. And so we're excited to have the Finish Your Own Cutting Board workshop out there again. And these cutting boards, we've mixed them up a little bit, made them a little bit different so that they'll be something special. If folks have been out there before, there is red oak in these boards that's been donated from one of our wood industries, but we have a little bit of walnut in each and every one of these boards that actually came from Robinson Forest. So this was trees that came down during a storm event, and we were able to upcycle that wood, and we're able to integrate it into these workshops. And so it's about 1 board foot of wood that's in each one of these cutting boards. And so we're going to be doing this on Friday from 1 to 4:30, and then on Saturday the 20th from 8:30 to 3:30 out there at Masterson Station Fairgrounds. And so what you can expect is having educational video on the front end that we have everybody watch. And so in that, you're going to learn about the forests of Kentucky, a bit about the forest industry and the woodland owners who own that land, and how the loggers who harvest that timber add value through each area of the forest product sector, and how that all together adds up to this $19 billion wood industry that we have, and how it's a good thing to use these forest products wisely and to use them instead of alternative materials when we're making our decisions and buying things, and thinking more about where our wood comes from and materials that are made out of wood, any opportunity that we can. That's our big takeaway. And so we talk a
One
lot
thing I like about this, Chad, is that with that video, people are learning about
yes,
the industry. It's not just here, make your cutting board and go on. We're actually trying to educate you all on, things that actually went into actually getting that cutting board so that you could do something with it.
thank you for that, Renee. Absolutely. That is exactly what we want it to be, entertaining, but it also is very real. And it's the story of how our forest product sector operates out there. And you're right, it gives them an inside look into how things actually operate out there. And so very similar to other types of agriculture that we have in the state, how we manage that forest resource is so important. And that's our biggest objective, is making sure that all of those folks that get a cutting board, they have a deeper appreciation and understanding for our forests and the industry that is utilizing that resource, and why it's a great thing, and how we all benefit from the $19 billion forest industry, and how our $9 billion bourbon industry is supported directly by that, and how we're all healthier because of having healthy forests. And that's a great thing that Dr. Crocker is going to be out there with a program for. And so a lot of good opportunities out there to learn about sustainable forest management and other benefits from forest management. And so they'll get to see this as kind of just a glimpse into some of the processes that you'll get to do in finishing your own cutting board. And so you get to take and router the edges to put a nice smooth rounded edge on both sides.
So Chad, let me
Yes.
ask you this. So people can't get hurt at this. Like that was a really small little child, and so I just wanted to stress what you all have done to make sure
Thank
that
you
this
for
is a
that.
safe environment.
Absolutely. So Renee is exactly right. We've gone to great lengths to make these tables as safe as possible. And so these guards here prevent folks from having their fingers come in close contact with those router bits. And so they're able to safely be able to router those edges without having any close contact with any of the moving parts. And we require everyone to wear safety glasses while they're doing the routering or the sanding parts. And so that way nobody gets any dust in their eyes, and we make it as safe as physically possible so that we can continue to do this program for the people. And so we want all ages to be welcome, and that's where we really have worked hard to make this accessible for everybody so that they can learn about the forests of Kentucky and get to enjoy. We're doing a little bit of hands-on woodworking, and we even give them some instruction on how they can care for that cutting board after they leave from the Wood Expo. And so we hope that they've learned something about Kentucky's forests and the great products that come from it, and had some fun in doing that. And then every time they use their cutting board, they're reminded of all of those great lessons of Kentucky's forests. And a lot of this is possible due to support with our industry partners. And so the red oak, we actually use that in our kiln drying program, which I'll talk about here in a little bit with these wood industry initiatives, wood products initiatives that we have going on in Kentucky. But just to go back through, lots of wonderful events that the Forestry and Natural Resources Extension team will be out there, and excited to meet you and to learn more about these great forests of Kentucky and all that they provide. And one of those being the small scale logging program, which this has made its debut out at our Woodland Donor Short Course in the past, and you might have seen it out at the Wood Expo in years past. And so a great opportunity to look at different options for small acreage woodlands. And so those landowners and entrepreneurs who work in that space and need solutions for how to move logs around is the focus of this program. But that's all that I've got for the Wood Expo. you want me to jump right into University of Kentucky Wood Products Initiatives?
Wait just a second.
Absolutely.
I kind of wanted to talk a little bit. Billy is actually going to have an event out there,
Yes.
Tree ID, and that'll be at 10 a.m. on Saturday. So if you've ever really wanted to get up close and personal with Tree ID and not, not just a webinar, webinars I think are awesome. But if you've ever wanted to be out touching a tree, then Billy's the person to talk to. So Billy, if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. Come join us at 10 o'clock on Saturday. We'll be in the kind of UK educational area. We'll gather there. And then we're going to kind of go over the characteristics of different trees. We have over 100 native tree species here in Kentucky. So identifying one from another can be challenging. But if you know the tricks and the characteristics you're looking for, you've got a really big head start on it. So we'll spend some time going over those various characteristics, and then we'll walk around and do some identification of some of those trees there. And I'll show you all how to use a dichotomous key to identify trees here. Anywhere really you could use it. So it'll be a fun activity, low pressure, but a good chance to kind of learn about trees and tree identification. So look forward to seeing you all out there. Again, that's at 10 o'clock on Saturday.
I know, a lot of people have been from the woods today, people, watching for a long time. And, a lot of the people that you see here on From the Woods today are actually going to be out there doing presentations. Like Billy's going to do Tree ID. Dr. Crocker will be doing a forest health on invasive plants on Friday at 1 o'clock. So if you ever wanted to, just go and talk to her in person, that's a way. Chad will be out there. He's been on here for Wood Products several times, so Michael's been on here for GIS, and he'll be, doing some of the small scale logging, things. So a lot of the people that you see here that you see as experts in their field, well, actually, it's going to be at the expo talking about this stuff. So, take advantage of it. $7 gets you in. That's cheap, to see all of this in one place.
No doubt. Yeah. I'm excited about it. It's always a good time, getting to see everybody, and it's awesome.
James, anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, just a few other things that popped up just to kind of remind everybody. We also will be doing a silent auction out here for Log a Load for Kids. That's our charitable foundation that goes towards the UK Pediatric Hospital, which is something we're very, very proud of. So we'd love to have you get involved in that. We'll have a gigantic log you can guess the weight of. There'll be prizes for that, so that's something you probably want to be involved in. And then one thing that we forgot to mention that's actually a pretty big draw out here is the chainsaw carving. So we'll have four different folks out here doing live chainsaw carvings. It's pretty awesome to watch. You've never got to do that. Some of the pieces are relatively large, and then they'll be auctioned off on Saturday around lunchtime, to the highest bidder at the arena. So some other neat things. And then obviously I want a big thanks to UK, the Division Forestry, our partners in this, because we couldn't do it without you. They're all on site today, helping us get set up. This is my first one that I'm in charge of, so I need people to show up and show out, please. No pressure here.
We don't want to get you in trouble, James.
Yeah.
We want to make it a very good event and a very popular event this year. But anyway, thank you all so much. We're excited. I'll be running around on a golf cart with a blue shirt. Stop me if you're on here, and we can talk, and we'll love to meet folks. But again, we're going to get it ready, and we're excited to have everyone on site.
Well, James, we appreciate you being on. I know we're taking up your time today from stuff you've got to be doing, so we greatly appreciate you joining us this morning.
Yeah, we'll see you soon, buddy.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, James.
Bye.
Another thing I didn't think of until now, as far as if you've ever been interested in doing lumberjack games, on Friday afternoon at 3:30, we have a competition. You can throw an axe, you can do chainsaws, and we will teach you how to do it. Yeah, bring you a team of 4 if at all possible. I'll be out there on part of that competition, not doing it, but, helping run it. And so if you can, if you want to actually participate, come on out. You can email me. You can do forestry.extension@uky.edu, and we will get you participating at 3:30 on Friday. So go ahead and do that, because I do need more teams for this. So I would love it if you all will just bring a team of 4 out. Is it always on the 3rd weekend in September? It's every other year, but it's always, I think it is always the 3rd weekend, isn't it, Chad? We typically try to do that.
I believe so.
Yes. or at least in the last bit for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's typically then, and it's every other year, and we probably will have you sign some waivers just to make sure, if it's your, nothing, if anything happens, that you're not going to hold us responsible. And there is trophies, there is, winning, you can get a little medal, that kind of thing. So, come on out, bring a team. It'll be a fun weekend.
Yeah, come join us for sure.
Yeah. Chad, what kind of initiatives do you have going on? I know you have some, different things going on for the wood industry folks, and just general, if you just enjoy wood, you should come to these initiatives that you have going on and trainings.
Absolutely, Renee. We've got a few really exciting things going on. And so I'm going to try to give just a little bit of information about a few of these that we have.
Okay.
And one of our big places that we do a lot of wood product outreach, and we use this for a lot of industry training, but we have around 1,500 visitors each year that come for more of a general public education in wood and forests. And we are able to make things out of wood there as part of these workshops. And so a great space there to be able to engage leaders throughout our state and region and help share information about our forests of Kentucky and all that they contribute, and the great benefits of managing those and being focused on forest health. And so I'll try to talk about a few different big areas that we're operating within. And so just a plug for our Wood Utilization Center and those different activities going on out there. We've got a Facebook page where we try to share some of these different trainings and programs out there. And so this just shows a little bit of preparation, getting ready for the Wood Expo this year. But this program focus that I've got is largely in forest products and markets, with a bit in workforce development for that forest sector. And through our Forestry and Natural Resources extension team and partners, being able to provide programs in timber and wood product markets, so tree grading and log grading. We have some analysis with delivered log pricing trends and hardwood lumber grading, sawmilling, rough mill yield studies, molder and knife grinding, even flooring inspection, air drying of lumber and kiln drying, and then wood industry equipment and technology. And so trying to integrate all of this into the needs of our workforce for the forest industry, is we don't have a 2-year program in the state. In our Forestry and Natural Resources program, sometimes our students have interest in some of those careers on the periphery, but a lot of need out there for those different careers. And in Kentucky, at the university here, one of our largest focuses, our research priority areas, has been on materials. You can see here in this little figure the different research priority areas that the university is focusing on. And with wood being a material, and focus on how we can utilize our local materials better. And so working within that framework and with our partnerships to try to elevate wood usage and local wood usage in our research that we have going on between the College of Engineering, College of Architecture, and the Martin Gatton College of Agriculture, Food and Environment. And so a big initiative that our forestry extension team has led in over the last more than a decade has been the economic contribution of Kentucky's forest sector. And so through these analyses, we know that nearly half of Kentucky is in woodlands, and that there's a significant contribution of farm income that is coming from that timber that's growing on their property. And that has a huge impact on forest products manufacturing, as well as our $9 billion bourbon industry. And so in 2024, we know through these analyses that the forest sector contributed $19 billion in total economic contribution and over 57,000 jobs overall. And the team that is behind this study, led by Dr. Stringer, Billy Thomas, Dr. Thomas Ochudo, and Vane Onyango, and myself, with contributing authors Stephen Rogers and the USDA Forest Service and the Kentucky Forest Industries Association. And so we update our forest industry database that we have, a directory, to be able to have available for these industries to have a presence online and ability for industry to be able to connect with one another, or landowners and farmers to be able to connect to industry, loggers to be able to connect to these facilities. And so we know from updating these directories that we are losing facilities due to a decrease in wood use, especially with yellow poplar and red oak. And so we expect this trend to continue downward, downsizing. But we do have a lot of master loggers still in the state, which is important for extracting timber from the woods. And so you can see the darker the green, the more loggers in that county, and each dot being a wood industry. An interesting thing that we like to point out is that there's these facilities located in both urban and rural communities. And so one of the great things about the forest sector is that there is a lot of manufacturing that goes on in our urban centers, and Louisville being a huge economic contributor with the number of wood industries that are located there, the number of people employed in those jobs. And through this analysis, we are also able to see just how much that an acre of timber adds to Kentucky's economy through all of the value added at each step. And so this little drawing here illustrates that contribution at each step. So you start with the woodland owner out on the landscape, and you go through logging and sawmilling and chipping, secondary wood manufacturing, so making finished wood products, and then making products out of the residues like charcoal and fire logs and bark mulch and things of that nature, pulp and paper sector. Altogether, that contributes about 19,500 an acre. But the thing of this is it's down from the previous year in contribution due to these markets being depressed and a lack of demand for lumber products, which we hope will turn the corner soon. And so this figure here, we show the growth to removals and mortality. And so we can see that we're growing twice as much as what is being harvested and what is dying naturally out in the woods, showing that we are well within sustainable harvesting levels, and that there's an opportunity to harvest a lot more material and still be growing more than we're taking. This figure here, I always like to use this to show the height of hardwood consumption in 1999 and how consumption has decreased over time with the 08-09 recession and the economic hardships of that, showing what that has done to purchasing of hardwood products. And so compared to plastic and non-renewable materials, real hardwood is very expensive. And so that has been a big part of this as an economic issue, and cheaper alternative materials out there on the landscape. The trouble with a lot of those materials is that they do not last as long as a real hardwood floor or hardwood cabinets. And so someone has to purchase that item 2 or 3 times in their lifetime, as opposed to buying it once and having a higher initial cost. And so this figure has a lot of stories that it tells. But one of the big things is that there's a need to be able to educate consumers, including homeowners and renters and hotel chains and apartment complex managers, all these decision makers, and have them to understand the benefits of using this local produced hardwood and the sustainability of these materials compared to a lot of alternative materials, as well as showcasing the beauty of these different species and the technology that exists nowadays to be able to utilize these materials in better ways than we've ever been able to before. And so I liken this very similar to different checkoff programs like Got Milk or the beef promotion, but this is individually done through a bunch of private businesses they've created this Real American Hardwood Coalition to provide this educational message. And so that's one effort to try to increase education of their material of hardwoods and how that compares to all other materials. We also have formal classes where we're using the classroom to be able to teach wood science. And so one of those, our students get a chance to go out into wood industry facilities and see firsthand the technology and innovation that exists in our forest industries. And then in the classroom setting, we're able to cover wood products, wood identification, wood science, and utilization aspects. And some of that is conducted down at our Robinson Forest and Robinson Wood Utilization Center, where students will get to go all the way through the value-added process from the forest to finished product. And so they can see firsthand these experiences. One exciting program that has been growing over the last few years, and we've had a lot of accomplishments, is our Campus Woods Tree Upcycling Program. And so through this program, trees that have reached the end of their life or are involved in a construction project footprint are able to be upcycled into lumber and materials that can be used in the classroom setting. We've got a strong partnership between College of Fine Arts, College of Design, School of Architecture, Department of Landscape Architecture, College of Engineering, as well as our Martin Gatton College of Agriculture, Food and Environment, with our Department of Forestry and Natural Resources. And so being able to make these finished products from our campus trees, these long-lived wood products, and these products will store the carbon that's in the wood for the life of these products. And so a table that stays in an office and is used for meetings, or the roof of this sawmill pavilion that has campus wood in it, as long as these products are staying here, that carbon is stored in place. There's some other really cool projects. One of those I want to point out is a temporary housing solution, a design build project that the architecture students undertook out at the Campus Wood site. This was following those destructive tornadoes that came through Kentucky. And so they built these prototype shelters out of campus wood with the intention that these could be used to shelter folks who have been displaced by tornadoes or other storm events. And it was featured on Kentucky Educational Television and got a lot of publicity, and rightfully so. It was a very neat project. We've got Win with Wood coming up. So this is the 25th year of Win with Wood. And so this program actually started as a recruitment tool for the 2-year Forest and Wood Tech program that was previously housed at the Hazard Community College in partnership with the Robinson Forest and the Wood Utilization Center. And as it's progressed over time, it's been maintained. And now this is the first year that we are running this program with as a 4-H program. And so in partnership with 4-H, this program invites youth from across the state to come and compete in 8 different forest and wood related activities. And the winner overall of the senior competition receives a $500 scholarship to the Martin Gatton College of Agriculture, Food and Environment. So we're very excited about this program continuing in its 25th year and all of the support that we have for this program. One thing that we're doing differently, we're asking those high school teachers to work with their 4-H agents to register for that program. And so that just helps us to get more integration, as a lot of 4-H agents are retiring and younger 4-H agents are coming in. This allows them to be more integrated into this program, and win-win for everyone by having that collaboration. The FFA has always been a very big part of this Win with Wood competition. And so we're just trying to connect everyone closer together and keep this program growing into the future. It's held out at the Robinson Center on September 30th. And we do have sponsorship to provide t-shirts for all competitors, which we're excited to be able to continue to do. The really exciting news we have is the Kentucky Forestry Works program continues to grow. we've got a coordinator in place, Miss Franny Preston, and she is doing a phenomenal job and working with many teachers across our state to help show the opportunities and careers that exist within the forest and related careers all the way through manufacturing. And so there's just a few images here from a teacher training that we had up at Independent Stave Company, where we were able to learn about those barrels that they make at that facility, and the field course where we had students out in the woods at Robinson Forest, and we actually took them to an industry facility as well. And so this Forestry Works program, we've got the first high school curriculum for teachers and students to be certified in. And so it's growing very quickly. We also have the field course. And so this allows all expenses covered for students to come down and participate the last week of June in that field course. And so they get to go through many different types of training, from wildlife to firefighting to managing timber resources and all of these different types of activities, right? So get a baseline of information, and then at the end they get to take a test to check their knowledge of what they learned, and if they pass that exam, then they're able to get their certificate. And so the field course again is going to be the last week of June, and we've got a federal grant that will support this program from 26 through 2028. And so great opportunity. We had a lot of Central Kentucky students who came to last year's field course, but we didn't have any students from Eastern Kentucky. And so we want to try to make sure everyone in the state knows about this really great opportunity to learn more about forestry and natural resource careers. And so that's going to be June 21st through the 26th for that field course for high school students. And here's just a map that Franny had put together showing the counties that teachers are becoming certified or already certified in as we launched this program last year. And so this program's continuing to grow really quickly. And so ways that you can help to make Forestry Works of Kentucky grow are to share this program with teachers, let them know that this is an opportunity for them and their students, as well as encourage high school students in forestry and natural resource careers, and share the field course opportunity with these high school students so that they know that this opportunity exists. So just to go through a few more training opportunities on the primary industry training side, we do a lot with log grading, lumber grading and inspection, air drying of lumber, railway tie specifications, sawmill yield studies, which we partner the NHLA, the National Hardwood Lumber Association, received a grant from the USDA to provide mill studies, and a requirement of that grant money is that they are required to provide that yield study at the same cost as for their members, which is a great thing, and it opens up these yield studies to all of these sawmills across our region, and it allows them to have better information on how they're producing lumber and efficiencies to where they can recover potentially millions of dollars, which is a very important program. And so just about any facility in the state could benefit from this program. And so a great opportunity that we've been able to engage and help with. And we want to share that program so that more companies can take the opportunity and have better information to operate with. We also do sawing and edging of lumber training between the Robinson Forest and the Wood Center. We've got some bandsaw mills, Wood-Mizer LT30 at the Wood Center and a LT70 at the Robinson Forest, that allow us to be able to saw as part of our training programs. As we move into secondary wood industry trainings, there the crossover between primary and secondary is drying of wood. And so we've worked to develop our kiln drying program and wood drying expertise there at the Wood Center. and as well as our molder and knife grinding training that we're going to offer this year. And I'll have some more information here in just a moment specifically about that training. But we also have router operation and rough mill operation. And so other technology that we have in the facility, we're able to provide trainings as needed by industry or broader trainings open to a broad audience. So just to showcase a few of these trainings that are coming up, the tail end of National Forest Products Week, the third week in October, we're going to have our Robinson Wood Center kiln drying short course. This is in partnership with Nile Dry Kiln Company. They donated a kiln unit to the University of Kentucky's Wood Utilization Center. And so we've got a research agreement with them. We're working on developing kiln schedules that industry and entrepreneurs can use to be able to dry lumber more efficiently. But another byproduct of this is that we're able to conduct these trainings for people within the wood industry and entrepreneurs. And so these have incredible impact due to the number of dollars that some of these companies are able to generate through having good wood drying. Alternatively, if somebody is doing a really bad job at drying wood, they can lose millions of dollars very quickly and destroy material. And so this is one way that our Wood Utilization Center is really able to engage and provide a lot of value to the state of Kentucky and our broader region that we're serving. Last year, we had some folks that came all the way from Florida to attend that training. And so our molder and knife grinding training is going to be the very next week on Thursday and Friday, the 28th and 29th. And through that, we'll go through all of the proper machine operation for a grinder, how to grind knives that go into those molders. And we'll show folks how to make axial and radial spindle adjustments and how to calibrate and be able to measure inside of that machine, how to run profiles. And so a very basic introduction that builds to more advanced topics. And you can see here's our entranceway here to the Wood Utilization Center where this training will take place. We also are able to support wood drying, and we're providing a lot of support in partnership with the Great Lakes Kiln Drying Association. At this point in time, a lot of these wood drying educational groups have gone dried up and they're not operating anymore due to the industry in the area going out of business is one of the big reasons why that's occurred. And so because of that, we have been able to support a lot of the Eastern United States in wood drying, working in partnership with that Great Lakes Kiln Drying Association. So I want to be clear that this is strictly an educational association. There's no lobbying or distractions. It's all about advancing and protecting the interests and standards of wood drying and the associated professions and processes, and to serve as an open space for exchange of ideas and information with the idea that all companies benefit from drying wood better, and that if this is one place where there could be collaboration that everyone would benefit from. And so our upcoming meeting is going to be in Louisville, Kentucky at Goodfellow Lumber. And so we're in the midst of getting that schedule out, and we'll have more information available on our website. I tell folks UKYOVLDA is the easiest way to Google search and find our website for updated information and meeting brochures. But just to circle back around with our wood drying research and training, the opportunities that we're able to provide with this small dehumidification unit, where we can dry about 2,000 board feet of lumber on site, and how we can tie that in with trainings and workshops. It's a wonderful tool, and it's helped us to utilize wood that we are able to get sawn from Robinson Forest and it be dried so we can then use it. We are finishing up a barrel stave recovery study. And so this is a study that has spanned multiple years. It started with an extension assist and supporting a few of our stave and cooperage facilities that were advancing and growing their industry. And we were able to provide a lot of guidance, and through those recommendations, there was a lot of dollars saved and white oak saved, which is a great story in itself, but it didn't stop there, right? We were able to develop a cooperative with all of those leaders in the stave and cooperage industries and be able to set up a study that would provide information that currently did not exist previous to this study. It has large impact for recovery of wood and dollars, which is good for strengthening our bourbon and stave and cooperage industries in the state. And so there's a lot of exciting news to come from that very soon, as all of the publications for that are in the midst of being finished. But another big area that we are focusing in on, and it's because of the opportunity to use a lot of wood, and it's these big wooden buildings, and so we call it mass timber. And cross-laminated timber is one of those types of mass timber. And we've formed this Kentucky Mass Timber Collaborative, building off of our partnership with the College of Engineering, Department of Civil Engineering, Dr. Abhitha Paris, the College of Design, the School of Architecture, Professor Bruce Swetnam, and myself in our College of Agriculture, Food and Environment, Department of Forestry and Natural Resources Extension. And so we're building off of what we started in 2017, where we were testing these small panels with 1-inch thick layers, what they call lamellas, made out of red maple, sycamore, and gum. So each panel was made out of just one species. And then we tested them under compression, and we found some really exciting results in that the sycamore, gum, and red maple were stronger than the southern yellow pine that we tested alongside of it. And so about 3 times stronger was the average. And so there's opportunity economically with the species that we were working with that put them close to being on par with what it would cost for southern yellow pine. So right off of that point, we're trying to find an underutilized species that has economic potential to not be too much more expensive or about the same price as pine, which is challenging. There's not many species that fall into that category. But due to the price point, the availability of those species, and the strength values, we found that there was a great opportunity to work with these species in the future in mass timber development. And so we've worked as we try to test for these national design standards, what they call NDS values for underutilized hardwood species, as well as an economic study looking at what the contribution of these to Kentucky's forests would be. And so the benefits of having hardwood cross-laminated timber market development is that we're able to manage these local hardwood forests here in the state by improving forest health, providing markets for local wood, carbon storage. But the construction sector is moving to this prefabricated off-site construction. And so being able to integrate wood into that system more is a natural thing that needs to happen as precast concrete and other types of prefabricated construction in other materials are already well developed. And so it'll be faster, more efficient, but also healthier buildings at the end of that process. We've also worked with Virginia Tech and other industry partners to find ways of being able to saw structural lumber quickly and efficiently in our current sawmill structure. And so working with Dr. Brian Vaughn, Dr. Silas Adhikari, and Terman Lumber Company, we were able to take yellow poplar cants and saw them with a gang saw to be able to quickly produce what we need is a number 2 structural yellow poplar. And so we found that we were able to produce a good amount of that through the testing, which was sufficient for being able to produce it effectively for yellow poplar structural grade number 2, which was a big success to be able to accomplish that. And so as we work to try to promote this idea of mass timber, our collaboration with many partners throughout our region, we have been asked to lead a Midwest and Southern Mass Timber Conference in the fall of 2026. And so we are working on developing that schedule and preparing for fall of next year. So we've got a little bit of time to prepare. But we do have a website that's up and going, and there will be more resources and information updated to kymasstimber.com. And so that's a great location to look out and see upcoming opportunities. I'll briefly mention that we do have, if anyone is involved in specifying floors in a school or a public building, that we have just gotten a company in Kentucky certified and as a member of the Maple Flooring Manufacturers Association. And what this means is now for school projects and public works that this Merrick Hardwoods is able to put in a bid, which is something they were previously not able to do. And so a great opportunity for another market for Kentucky maple that is very strong and great appearance. And so there's one new market that we've helped to create. And so overall focus from all of these initiatives, I like to remind folks about the importance of forest health. And if we are caring for our forests out there, that they will continue to take care of us into the future. And to learn more about all of the different topics of forest health and related, the From the Woods Today program that you're watching today is a great resource. And so always put that as a plug. We're going to be celebrating National Forest Products Week here the third week of October on campus. We have a big cookout for our campus community and activities. And so we're going to do that again this year, but I'd like to encourage everyone to celebrate forest products and forests every day. And that's all that I have. If anyone has any questions.
Thank you, Chad. We greatly appreciate it. I know Billy had to get to class, so we will wrap up the rest of this. But let's see, by next year, will the Wood Expo have exhibits on AI? I don't think so, but I don't know that. I mean, Chad, do you have any idea?
That's a really good question. We don't have any discussion about an exhibit on AI. I know some equipment has AI integrated into it.
Right.
So some of the vendors that will be here at the Wood Expo, at their informational booths, they'll have information that provides if there's AI integration, robotics, and it really is amazing the technology and equipment that we have available nowadays.
And someone asked about, do you receive Girl Scout troops in your place? I don't know if that means Wood Expo or Forestry Works. I'm not 100% sure which one. So if you want to respond to that while we're asking other questions, answering other questions, we can.
So Forestry Works, absolutely. With the Wood Expo, I know it'd be great to have a group out there, and Saturdays are probably easier for. At the Wood Utilization Center, we do have a lot of 4-H and different youth groups with the schools. And so a Girl Scout troop would be good as well. We just ask that they've got a chaperone of sorts there with them. And we love to have guests come and visit us at the Wood Center.
Okay. So another one was, are there variations of the forestry work program for Kentucky Master Naturalist volunteers? That would be amazing.
That would be very cool. I know, so Lori Thomas, who is very engaged in Master Naturalist, along with a few other folks, is very engaged as our assistant director in Forestry Works.
Yes.
And so I don't know if there's an opportunity to cross-pollinate those two, but definitely a good question to ask and a conversation that we can have and see if there's opportunity.
Okay, so they said at the forestry place.
So with the Wood Center,
Wood Center. Oh, okay. Okay.
we end up having to where we're working so much more right now to where Saturdays are not normally a thing. Occasionally we will do some Saturday events to try to invite folks out. The Wood Expo will be going on this Saturday, and it would be a great opportunity because there's the woodworking activity, but then the forest health, the tree ID, and so many other things to see out there. Whereas the Wood Center, it's over in Breathitt County, which is a little bit of a travel, and we're typically a Monday through Friday just due to how many hours that we get to work within, and we work more than those, but we're trying to keep the wood center operation not more than that.
Yeah, but bringing a Girl Scout troop to the Wood Expo would be a very huge thing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you could definitely do a lot of things out there and get a lot of knowledge, and actually maybe, I don't know, be able to sign off on something, because there's a lot of different things, especially like Billy's tree ID. I mean, for one,
Absolutely.
10
Yes.
a.m. on Saturday, people.
Yes.
You can go ahead. Right. I think I've got all the questions answered, Chad. Well, thank you for, presenting and talking about both your wood product initiatives that you have going on and, everything that's going to be coming up. I know you've got a busy couple of months coming up. And we greatly appreciate you being on our team as well. Because I know anytime we have a wood question, I'm like, hey, Chad, help me out. So we
Thank you,
appreciate
Renee.
all that you do.
We have a really good team. I really appreciate you saying that.
We really do. One more thing. Okay, just thank you. All right. Well, thank you very much, Chad. And I know I'll have you back on some other time.
It sounds great.
Y'all come out
Thank
and
you.
see Chad at the Wood Expo this weekend.
Come out to the Wood Expo.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, everyone. I really appreciate you all being on each and every week. It really means a lot to us that you come in and you watch our shows. If you have any topics whatsoever, you can go to fromthewoodstoday.com and you can get those little survey. You can click on it and it'll say, hey, answer a few questions and then let us know some things that you might want to learn more about. Because if somebody has a question about, something, and it may not just be you in your woods, you may see something, you're like, I have no earthly idea what that is. Take a picture of it, send it to us. Maybe we can do a show on it, because if you have a question about it, I'm sure there's someone else that has thought the exact same thing. And I know we say this every week, but it's just something that we want to instill, because this show really is for you. If you want a specific topic, let us know. As long as it has something to do with forestry, we will get it on the air. So we greatly appreciate, again, you joining us, and we will see you all next week at the same time, 11 o'clock. Take care. Bye-bye.
From the woods today. From the woods today.